Yo, guys, welcome to the Blue Podcast. This is the Purple Show with me, Tom, Ben, Cam, and Fab. How you boys doing today?
Good, thanks.
Good, thank you.
Yeah, I'm all right.
You fucking did it. Cam fucking did it. Oh, dear. Fab, you forgot, and I'm disappointed in you.
We had that planned. We had it planned. We had it all.
Man. We had it planned. Was it going to be your new, how you doing?
Next time, not this game week. I'm not feeling up for it for some reason.
Well, on that note, Liverpool are shit, aren't they?
Sip of coffee.
Prepare yourself.
Oh.
All right. No, let's not. You know what? Let's let Fab not get too angry too soon.
Oh, cheers for that. You really
Gotta save the clips for later. You see.
Yeah. I like saving the clips for later. Should we just get right into it? Into some of the fixtures, and the way we do it now is like this. These are the fixtures. Oh no! Oops.
Oh, he's zooming in on bloody Liverpool's record or something.
That was by accident. I promise.
100% accident that was, wasn't it?
I lied. We're going to talk about Liverpool. Do you remember this game, Fab?
It's as if he's planned it.
I did. Yeah, I planned everything.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't remember too much about this game. Probably for the best. I'm trying to think.
It was
if you want, I can explain how the game went. I remember it very well.
Yeah. You were saying you remember it well for some reason. Don't know.
I remember. So you guys played pretty well for about 60 minutes. Dominated Leicester. A couple of chances you should have scored probably. Salah obviously came up and scored for you, unlike yesterday. And then there was a possible offside. Well, no. So firstly, there was a possible penalty, but it was given as a free kick, and that was very, very tight. And I thought you got away with one there. It could have been given either way, but then you didn't get away with one when Maddison pinged it in, and the guy was offside but wasn't offside, and then you crumbled like a sack of potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Moving
Do
on.
you remember it now? Is it coming back to you? Because it was definitely the one where you could have argued some goals, but
I'm not laughing. I'm choking on my coffee.
but you got to
Actually, not.
It's just a bit.
Although I saw what they called the United stand, but the Liverpool version.
Oh, Anfield Agenda or something.
There's that one lad who's like proper. Is it the same one? I know what you mean.
Yeah, I think it's Anfield Agenda.
The City game, and there's two of them, and one of them is like Alisson made his dodgy passing, and he's like Alisson has just shit his pants again. It's like, oh, it's funny.
Oh wait, the younger lad. There's no ifs, buts, and maybes.
Oh no, not him. He's younger than the other guy, but he's not that young.
The one that was like Liverpool is the greatest football club in the world, and blah blah blah. That one. Yeah.
Must be nice to be delusional. Crystal Palace 0, Burnley 3. I thought Burnley were shocking yesterday when we watched the West Brom, who were down to 10 men after like 20 minutes. And
why did you watch that game?
Huh?
Why did you watch that game?
We were just bored.
Yeah,
there was nothing else on, was there?
Yeah. So. Well, I promised them rugby, and turns out it's next weekend.
Oh.
But yeah, the fact was that we were sat there and we were like, this is shit. Even the fact that West Brom went down to 10 men and Burnley still sat in a 4-4-2 and just playing long ball. It was awful.
Good old Sean Dyche.
And honestly, fuck. West Brom should have won it about 5 or 6 times. Hit the bar. they did a sweaty cross, and the guy actually kicked it towards his own goal rather than the goal that was right in front of him and completely open. It was shocking. Oh, it
It was really bad.
was very bad. Speaking of bad, Spurs, hey, losing 3-0 to Man City. How was that for you, Ben, if you remember it at all?
It was lovely stuff.
Mm.
Gundogan, quality. Unfortunately, got a little knock, but he should be back for. He might be back today, or he might be back the next week sometime. But yeah, good. Who scored the third goal? I know Gundogan scored two.
Sterling.
Sterling.
Yeah.
What was someone like? Was it a tap in?
Yeah, probably.
Oh no, it was Rodri scored the pen because
Yeah,
that was
no,
the
yeah,
game.
Pen. Rodri's
the game.
pen was awful. I mean, credit to him for stepping up and taking it, but it was awful.
And then Gundogan scored two.
Yeah, I'm happy that he obviously scored it, but Pep after the game was like, yeah, like credit to him for stepping up, but he's not taking one again.
Edison told him where to go as well, and he ignored it. He said in an interview afterwards, Edison told me where to go, and I ignored it.
Yeah. Everyone thought Edison was coming up being like, yeah, let us take it, but it was just him being like, you should go that way or that.
Yeah,
way.
he told him to go which way to go.
I would trust him. I would trust Edison to take a pen because you just hit it, just smash it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if a goalkeeper's taking a penny, it has to do that because if he like the keeper catches it or it goes off the post and they start a counter, then you're screwed, aren't you? So you just have to absolutely smack it.
Unless you do a Wayne Rooney in the MLS and chase back to your own like half of your half to make a challenge, ping the ball into the box from just into their half and score a header in the 93rd minute to win 3-2.
Yeah,
that clip is nuts. I saw it again recently. I can't believe the fact that United fans don't rate Rooney, even though he scored like 253 goals for them.
I mean, he was a lot better when he was younger, wasn't he? I think that's.
Yeah, but he's still back like 15 to 20 goals a season.
Yeah. Permanent class, isn't he? Like, he was just very good, wasn't he? Like, he just was.
He was very good. No. Speaking of probably not a very good game to watch, was Brighton Aston Villa. I didn't watch it personally. Oh no, I did. Martinez made like 13 saves or something mad. Brighton played really well. I remember that actually. And they should have won it, but Martinez, who probably could have started for Arsenal this season, but for some reason they love Leno.
Yeah.
You know,
I'll never understand that.
No.
Well, like I said to you yesterday, that's because he's too good to be our number two. So,
so are you saying that he's worse than Leno?
No, he's too good to sit on the bench.
Should have made him the number one.
Yeah, I say make it number one.
Well, the only reason he got in was because Leno got injured. So
yeah, but then
Leno's always going to come back and be our number one. Like that's just how it is.
Yeah, it's just that I would have just carried on playing him until because he was in form, wasn't he? I would just carried on playing him until he lost his form, and then Leno can come back in if he.
I mean, to be fair, speaking from experience, last time we tried to swap in between keepers, it didn't end that well for us. So, to be honest, I don't blame Arsenal too much at the end of the day.
You got nightmares of Mignolet and Karius and even Adrian's done it.
For some reason, those memories were
Cam, the difference in quality between all of those three combined in Martinez is huge.
Yeah, but saying that, Martinez was at Arsenal for 10 years, and the only time he really played and got a string of games was because of Leno's injury. So, he's been there for 10 years, and he's not broken through. So
we've had experience of crap keeping in Claudio Bravo, so you know.
Yeah. And we've had Kepa, so we've all had it.
Yeah.
But I mean, saying that, not understanding why Arsenal let Martinez go. I think I don't understand Chelsea letting Tomori go even more. With a 30 million buyout clause. I think that might be even more scandalous.
I think it's there's rumours circling that it's going to mean that Tuchel can get one of his favourite players right now in Kessie, the midfielder, who is at AC Milan through a swap deal. But at the same time, Tomori's so fucking good. I can't believe we're going to let him go.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's criminal. It's absolutely criminal because he's young, he's English, and he's good. So
Yeah, I can't.
Maybe we'll have a buyback clause on him or something. Hopefully, I don't know.
Nah. I can't act that, mate.
I don't even mind if we sell him for 30 million and in 2 seasons' time, when he's insane because it's going to happen, we buy him for 50, 60 million. Because
you just want to keep him.
he starts every game for AC Milan, who are about to win the bloody Serie A. So I don't know what.
I think Inter are top now.
Are they?
Yeah, it's close,
fine.
but Inter are top.
I forget that you know that.
I'm into the Serie A. Like, I know my stuff. Don't try and say tomorrow's winning it. Like, no, joking. But,
hey, last time I checked, he was.
Is that like at the start of the season or something?
That was like a week ago.
Yeah, like the only time Arsenal are top of the league because it's alphabetical.
Yeah. Stop the count. That's all.
Isn't the Southampton Wolves game Southampton's 6th loss in a row?
Mm.
And Wolves got like one of their first wins in a while. See Neto's goal from that like really tight angle. Spicy goal. And here we are. Bottle Job United back at it again. With
I think you play him next weekend.
Yeah,
Be careful.
I'm getting it out now because I'm probably going to be crying next weekend. It's fine. Well, they how are they thinking they're going to catch up to City, man, if they're drawing a West Brom 1-0?
Well, you know, I mean, I'm well happy with that result, but like, can never write them off.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you.
I don't even want to waste breath on them, to be fair.
Yeah, I was going to say. I tell you can write off being in the top 4, even though they won 4-2. Is Arsenal?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, look at our next games. Look at them, like City, and then we've got Benfica to play, and then we've got Leicester. We are. It's just not good. It's just not good.
I remember saying to you, I think we got a worse little run. We've got United, Atletico Madrid, Liverpool, Atletico Madrid,
Everton in there.
Everton.
Yeah, it's just not nice. It's like,
No.
and you've got all the games to play. Like teams are going to play the actual matches that they should be playing, and we're sat at 10th going into this game today. And I mean, if we won, not too bad. We'd be 3 points off Liverpool. So
what?
What?
So but that's if we win today, and that's going to be an ask, isn't it? So
yeah.
Do you reckon you could get Europa, or do you think you're just going to go to actually win the Europa season to get Champions League?
I think that's probably the best route to go is to go through Europa League and go and win it, because then it doesn't really matter where we finish, because then at least we've got Champions League football and we've won something. So that would be the ideal scenario for me. But yeah, that's also a bit unlikely because there's some good teams in Europa League.
Do you reckon if you miss out on Europe completely, they'll get rid of Arteta?
No, I don't think so.
Will you lose Saka?
No, I don't think so either. We might lose.
Will you be able to keep Odegaard? Will Aubameyang leave?
We might lose some big name players like Lacazette, Aubameyang, or people like that. But no, I think most of the players that are in there are kind of quite committed. So I think they'd rather work towards getting us back into it than just leaving because they can't see it. I don't think any player would be in a team if they weren't invested in what's going on. So, and players that haven't done that have left or been like jogged on. So we just got to see. But yeah, I don't know.
It's a tough one.
Yeah. It's a sticky one. It is a sticky one.
Yeah. Well, just looking at this next result, does that mean that Liverpool are worse than Fulham?
Yeah, we were all clever there, Tom.
Because Fulham just beat Everton 2-0. So actually, Fulham are 4 goals better than Everton. Liverpool even.
Yes.
Oh,
That's right.
Moving on before I get punched when I next see him. West Ham. To be fair, West Ham 3-0 Sheffield United. They moved above Liverpool. They have a very good chance this season of getting top 4.
West Ham.
Yep.
If they keep it up, but I think it Europa really.
I think today's game against Spurs is a big one to decide to like help you get a gauge. And also, Ben, do you remember when I was on Never a Foul podcast and I predicted the top 4?
What did you predict?
It was City, United, Leicester, Chelsea.
Yeah.
That's looking pretty likely now, you know.
I don't know about Chelsea.
It's looking more likely now, but I mean, even during this poor run for Liverpool, I still thought you'll get top 4 easy, but you need to start getting some results soon. Otherwise, it will be City, United, Leicester, Chelsea. But yeah,
We'll see.
I saw a meme on Instagram. It was like, can't wait to hear this anthem at Anfield, and it's them panning across the Liverpool players, and it's got the Europa League anthem going. Like,
Funny, is it?
Arsenal. Arsenal. Cam. If it meant that Arsenal wouldn't get top 6, but Liverpool were in the Europa League, would you do it?
Well, compared to what?
So, like, either you get Europa League and Liverpool get Champions League, or you don't get Europa League and Liverpool get Europa League.
Well, I'd take Europa League. I'd take the European football, wouldn't I?
Just Cam.
I'd take that for my own selfish reason.
Fair enough. It's a good attitude to have.
On Liverpool might get in Europa League, like based off their season, that would be decent, wouldn't it?
I mean, I don't know if that's decent.
Not decent, but like based off where they are now,
the best bad scenario.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
Yeah. The current how it is now, Fab. Would you be happy with getting European football at minimum? Like,
probably not, to be honest.
right.
Yeah.
Greedy.
Have we gone to
He's
Europe?
seen a bit of silverware and he wants more.
Well, it's more the fact that if we do get Europa League football, we have a lot of world-class players in our squad that won the Champions League 2 seasons ago. And if you don't get Champions League football for those players, some of them will decide to leave. And that sort of kind of...
Would that completely destroy chances of getting Mbappe?
I mean, already, I know I bring him up sometimes, but that's very much wishful thinking. I'm more worried about losing players personally. We're already losing Wijnaldum, who's I think's a world-class player. We'd probably lose either Mane or Salah, probably Salah realistically as well. Then you probably bring in a player similar to Sarr and you go again. Really what needs to happen to take the next step forward is we get Champions League football, reinvest in the summer and go again, but with a more sort of a deeper squad and no more injuries, please. I'm begging you. I can't do it anymore.
I think there's no denying either that maybe in Klopp said he's sort of not written it off, but he's kind of just thinking next season now. And I think there's no denying that Liverpool will be a lot better next season when they have Van Dijk and all the players back fit. But then again, like you say, you need that squad depth that if you do get an injury that you're able to cope with it, which is we haven't this season.
Yeah, I mean, I have to admit, I do see it. I don't sort of blame the owners for not bringing in more centre back. I think they could have brought them in earlier and done us a few more favours there. that's probably a mistake on their part. But it is sort of a freak
Oh.
season,
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
and you just kind of sometimes just have to take it on the chin. Sometimes that's football. You get lucky, you get unlucky. You have bad runs, you have good runs. I think our bad run has been coming for a while. You know, the run up to the games before sort of Newcastle, Southampton, West Brom were very touch and go. I think it was West Brom actually who we beat, or Sheffield. We beat 2-1 off like got the winner off like a dodgy free kick, hit someone's hand, and you know, just from watching that, I was sort of like alarm bells were ringing. You know, if we're only just about getting past these bottom 6 teams, you know, we need to sort something out, and we didn't. And you know, now it's just kind of all come together. And you know,
I mean,
I think
looking at the table here now, it's not written off. It's not completely like off the chart to say that you could get top 4.
Yeah.
Because I mean, anything could happen if you get some good games and get a good run of form. You could be back in there. Like,
yeah, I think we can definitely do. I'd say there's, you know, I think, you know, I think we're more likely to make top 4 than not to take top 4 at the moment.
mhm.
But you know, I think, you know, that relies on the players wanting it as well, and our front 3 sort of waking up a little bit, because, you know, I don't want to go into the more recent fixture before we cover it, but I have to admit, players like Firmino, I've been really, really disappointed by. And if he wants to keep on playing football for us next season, he has to switch something up, because it's just not good enough at the moment.
Yeah, Liverpool can easily get in top 4. They're only 3 points behind Chelsea.
Yeah, but if West Ham win today, they will be 5 points behind West Ham.
Yeah, but it's still only 2 wins like that.
Yeah, no, I know
But
that.
it's just the current form, isn't it? Last 5 games. That's the worrying thing.
Is it last 5 home games as well? You've lost all 5 of your last home games.
So
I don't look at those stats too much.
Need to turn
that
that around quickly.
Yeah, no, of course they could. And it was, and to be fair, from a Liverpool standpoint, seeing Van Dijk watching the game yesterday must have been pretty positive.
Yeah, I mean, he's good to have about. Probably encourages the boys, and he's probably there for them right now, and they probably need it most. So, you know,
some people were saying that he was there waiting to confront Pickford in the tunnel.
Yeah, I mean,
fair
play to Pickford. I thought he had a one of the best games I've ever seen him play yesterday, even for England.
It was written for him to have a good game yesterday, because he like injured Van Dijk, so he was obviously going to have a good game against you, wasn't he? Like, it was like that was written like as soon as he took out Van Dijk, wasn't it?
Do you want to know what's also written? Is Chelsea play Liverpool at Anfield next, and considering, so we've had Arsenal this season, we just had Southampton, which I will get to in a second, where team loses 6 games in a row and then pulls off a good decent performance against us. Our next game after United, fucking Liverpool at Anfield, and I guarantee they're going to turn it on. Guarantee.
Well, it's never an easy fixture, but I'd say it's a good time to play us if you want to win.
No, you'll turn it on. I know it for a fact. Chelsea 2-0 Newcastle. Werner got his first goal for a while in the Premier League.
Ooh.
So he's back, right? He's back.
Tom had a boner over
world-class form, Champions League striker. The what was it? 70 mil you played for him.
Best striker in the league.
70 mil.
Yeah. How much did you pay for him?
45.
We had a podcast with a Southampton fan, and Tom had a boner over him. So it was like, but he's doing it. He's back. I'm not denying that he's a good player, but
absolutely sod yesterday.
The disappointment is tangible.
Yeah. City Everton 3-1. How was that?
Yeah, good.
Just good.
Yeah, no, who scored again? Foden,
Oh, Foden's
Mahrez. That was a good goal.
Mhm.
Uh,
Bernardo Silva.
Bernardo. Oh yeah, Bernardo. Though. Pickford could have saved that, but I'll take it. Yeah, it was good as well because when we conceded, we didn't lapse. Yeah. So, but I was saying to my dad actually because our midfield three, I didn't think it was strong enough. I mean, they were quality players, but we were giving them too much space in midfield. I thought because it was Rodri, Bernardo, and Foden. Bernardo and Foden are quality players, but they're small and attacking, and they're not really thinking defensively at all. So you're just leaving Rodri by himself. So I thought we were giving too much space, but in the end, we did the business. I think it was after we went ahead that he brought on De Bruyne, and as soon as De Bruyne came on, we looked so much more secure in that midfield. It was unreal, but yeah.
Nice to see him back just before the Arsenal game.
Yeah, it was lovely.
I can't wait. He might not start, but he'll probably come on at some point.
Aguero's on the bench as well, so. I don't think Aguero's going to come on. Like he seems to be like waiting until he's completely fine to start him.
He's never completely fine though. He's never 100% at the moment, is he? He's
true.
He'll play 2 games, score a hat trick, and then get injured.
Yeah, pretty much.
But if he wins you a game, then I mean,
that just remind me because like he's talking about strikers. Like, did you see Haaland's goal?
No,
yeah.
Ibrahimovic-esque. And then did you see Sancho's interview after?
No.
He was like putting on a German accent. It was like him and Haaland together. He's like, I think it's been difficult the past few weeks. It's like, what's he doing? He's falling into that Joey Barton French and Steve McLaren trap. It's just so bad. Like you have to watch it after this. It's on the Sport Bible.
All right, we'll do. Who cares? Southampton won. Chelsea won. Who cares? We weren't good enough yesterday, and a little bit of out of bloody nowhere, Minamino scores a very nice goal.
Oh, he sat both the goalkeeper and a defender down. He absolutely. They were going to the Tesco down the road. Like they.
Yeah. Well, so did Trent, but we'll get into that.
Is this a sign of the potential of Chelsea not being able to perform and stick it in the back of the net, which we saw in the first game as well, and we saw it against Southampton yesterday?
I agree to a point that we seem to not quite click in the final third, but I can see I don't know, just the way Tuchel holds himself and stuff, and the things he says, I can see him fixing it pretty soon.
But I mean, you're dominating games. Like you are dominating by Tuesday. Games.
Obviously, he needs to do it by Tuesday.
I thought he was a bit harsh to Hudson-Odoi and Tommy.
Oh yeah.
I thought he looked quite sparky for a period of time, but obviously there was something that he wanted more.
That you don't. I mean, you can't say what you want in the dressing room, but you don't want to be doing that in an interview. Like you've publicly humiliated him by bringing him off after bringing him on as a sub, and then being like he wasn't good enough in the interview. He's probably thinking, "What have I got to do?"
I think Tuchel really wants to make Hudson-Odoi like one of his. He often has a couple players which he makes really good when he goes to Dortmund and PSG. I think Hudson-Odoi is going to be one of those players that he's going to try and make really good. You can tell because he's tried him in like multiple different positions now. He's played him as technically a striker, a right winger, a 10, a right wing back, and a left wing back. So you can tell he's thinking of as many ways as possible to utilize Hudson-Odoi. So I think he's testing him, I think, as well. It could have been also a tactical change, bring Ziyech on left boot on the right hand side. If he gets a chance, Ziyech probably could put it in the bin, in the top bins, but I don't know. It was.
I mean, it's just.
We'll see how it goes.
It's just for me personally. If I was playing,
But he did say in the interview though. In one of the interviews, he did say something about him being likely to start, depending on his training or something.
Yeah, well, obviously that
I think he's debating starting him, on Tuesday. I don't know.
He's just
obviously
he just spat in his face doing that.
Yeah.
He's completely.
But then he then said he would wants him to start on Tuesday. So
he's obviously one of his main players, but it's still, if I was a professional player now and my manager did that, I'd just turn off, switch off. I would not be happy with that at all.
Is that because you've dabbled in pro?
That's because I've dabbled in pro. No, it's just I don't think that way of managing works now.
No,
I think back in the day, players are a bit more, Yeah,
no, I know what you mean.
Aggression behind, but yeah.
We'll see. We shall see. Well, this is the game we spoke about earlier, where it was an absolute shocker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's about it, really. Fab, give us your piece on yesterday's performance.
Well, it's a tough one to break down. It's a tough one to take as well. Yeah, first time they've beaten us at home this century. Records broken, celebrations everywhere. Not a good day for any Liverpool supporter. But I think at the end of the day, that was sort of like an official sum up of our run of bad form. And from watching that game as well, you can make a lot of excuses for our performances recently, but it was pretty clear in that game, I think, to anyone watching that we just weren't up for it. Even the fixture last earlier this season at Everton, you could see, there was a red card, we had players injured, but we were up for it. We wanted the win and we went for it and we almost got it. It got taken away from us right at the final whistle, and everyone was gutted, supporters, players, it really felt like we deserved the win there. Whereas the performance yesterday was almost the opposite. We were just not clinical. Firmino, nowhere near good enough. A lot of chances he could have just hit first time, which is what out and out striker should do.
Oh, he did hit one though, didn't he? He did hit one first time.
Yeah, and it went into the fucking stands. So we all know the solution for that. I'm not saying a player like Jota would have scored it, but it does make you think if we had a striker who can hit the ball first time. Haaland's a good example. I don't think we're going to get him, but you can imagine a player like Haaland that can just hit a ball and you feel like it's going to hit the back of the net every time he does, getting on the end of these chances. It could be a completely different game.
It's what happens to players when they're low in confidence. They don't play quite on that edge.
Yeah.
So instead of taking it first time, they'll take a touch just to make sure, but then the chance is gone.
But even if he had confidence, I've never seen Firmino be that sort of striker. It's not in his play style. He wants to slow it down, take a touch. His back heels look awesome when he pulls it off, but it's what you sacrifice to get those when the back heels aren't working out perfectly that you end up receiving.
It's also, I guess, further back in the field, they're not going to play on the edge. They're not going to quite make that pass. They're going to take another touch. And then
I definitely don't think it's our strongest midfield at the moment either. Thiago's, I want to see more from him defensively, and I want to see him used as a substitute it's just that isn't really an option at the moment. You know, we've got Henderson and Fabinho out now. And if you've got a world-class midfielder, you know, you've got to use him. There's no real excuse not to.
I think from watching it yesterday, it just doesn't seem fluid. It doesn't seem natural. It's not. It's almost like you have to play. You get the ball at the pitch, but unless it's the first kind of attack that you have with the ball, whether it comes off or not, you can't. You've then got nothing else. So if it doesn't work the first time, you're then just trying the same thing, but it just doesn't work. Like you just can't. You can't break down a team, and you can't. You're not doing what you're renowned for doing, which is like getting a quality ball in from a fullback and someone else getting the end of it, or even counter-attacking football. It's just not working for some reason. Like I should don't.
Well, I'd say this season we haven't really played counter-attacking football. When we have, we've pulled it off. But that's it was the good goal we saw a couple games ago, I think against West Ham. But we only scored that goal because we were 2-1 up at the time, I'm pretty sure. And West Ham were pushing men forward for that equaliser. We're not going to be able to play counter-attacking football anymore. It's pretty rare that we will. Just change of style. That
could also be from your midfield as well, because you've got, I think, Salah and Mane still making the runs, but the midfield aren't looking for them. They've not got the confidence to play the ball and just give them a chance.
I think what I was thinking anyway, I know he's injured now, but Henderson, like, you brought in these two centre backs. I know he might not be confident in them and they might not be good enough, blah blah blah. But you brought in these two centre backs. You got Nat Phillips as well. Like, why not use those centre backs and push Henderson into that midfield? Because it's quite clear that you're missing him in that midfield. So you're gonna be weaker at the back anyway. But why sacrifice the midfield as well as having a weaker
I
back
think
line?
You know, the good example is when Henderson actually got injured that game. He bails out the defense. You know, we've got good centre backs, but they're not experienced. They don't know the system. They don't understand. You put two centre backs in there who were, you know, uncomfortable, not confident. Kabak, you know, he made I would say a mistake. He didn't track the run and got done for the Everton opener. And I don't think Nat Phillips can play alongside a player like Kabak. And you know, have confidence. That just seems like
Give Ben Davies a chance.
I don't know what's happening with Ben Davies personally. He's probably a similar standard to Nat Phillips at the end of the day. So I don't think he's going to be solving any problems. But I would like to see him play quite soon.
But
see what he's up for.
You're going to be weak at the back anyway. So obviously, like you say, they're not experienced enough, blah blah. But you're going to be weak at the back anyway. But we might as well have a strong midfield. So it'll be like, I guess, when Klopp was still there, when your back line was weak, but your attacking was quality. So it's just about scoring more than the opposition at that time.
It's more like a trust in Klopp. Like we do miss out a lot on. It's not so much the midfield. We don't actually. That's what Thiago was meant to bring in, that kind of killer ball from the midfield. We used to get a few long balls coming from Van Dijk, Gomez, and Henderson, who were sort of playing like as a back three centre back, and playing those long balls kind of across into the box. That was quite a common long ball that we'd play, but we've kind of lost that opportunity now. But you know, I don't think playing. You know, at the end of the day, you just got to trust in Klopp.
Yeah.
And if Klopp doesn't think. If Klopp isn't confident in playing those two centre backs at the back, then I don't trust those two centre backs playing at the back. And if he doesn't think playing Henderson in midfield is going to solve our problems, then I don't think it will.
I mean, he's going to have to play one of those two centre back partnerships now, isn't he? Because Henderson's injured.
Right. Yeah.
I think Fabinho's coming back. Fortunately, not sure for the next game, but probably for the one after. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
But I mean, what have you really got to lose anymore? Like you've got to take some risks. Got to try and change it because because you like I said before, you're still in it, but it's very like on the edge now. You could
need
really
big
just
result.
if you
that's
carry
what
on that.
what have we got to lose? If we mess up this end of the season and don't regain our form back, we will lose big players during the summer, and the whole season will be a massive disappointment. Whereas if you get that form back, string a couple games together, finish strong. We've got some, not too tricky fixtures. What's that? Oh, who scored?
Oh, actually, that's not good for us. Oh shit.
Yeah.
That's actually your worst result for Chelsea, which is mad.
Yeah, but I think I mean, like you say, it's got. You could argue you've got nothing to lose. You could argue you've got stuff to lose. But I think in terms of playing Henderson in that midfield, it's difficult for Thiago because he's expected to make this impact, but he's not playing with the players that, like the best players in that midfield that he could be playing with. So he'd probably be playing a lot better if Henderson was in there.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, you're probably spot on right, but it's just not worth the risk at the moment. And I have to admit, I don't like playing Henderson in my midfield, but we have to, because I think we would actually, as embarrassing as it sounds, you probably would have conceded a lot more without him.
Sure,
Because he just does bail out the more inexperienced centre back, and now we're all worried what's going to happen next. But trusting Klopp, and at the end of the day, even if we don't make Champions League football, it's that rebuild and that kind of team mentality that we would gain.
mean, if it was me, I would I'd be a bit more like Cameron's. Like, I mean, you obviously you can not get Champions League, but you've got not as much to lose. It might take pushing Henderson further forward and just playing with a weak defense in order to change that form. And obviously you'll concede more, but you'll probably score more. So
it's going to take like a really grindy result, just to push through a win and then build on that. That's what's going to take.
The one thing I think, to be honest, before, against a weaker side, something clearly in the system wasn't working, and we still haven't exactly worked out what that was. But again, in that Everton game, I thought we created chances that were, it gave us the opportunity to open the game up, and we didn't take those. So I don't think it's sort of like a system failure, tactical problem with Klopp.
No, I think it's more
players that need to step up now. And
here's a question for you: if you don't get European football, is Klopp gone? Is he either going to leave or is he going to get sacked?
Never.
Because there's even rumours about it because of the recently, because of your own form, it's easy to say that he could leave, blah blah. But the fact that I think the thing that would get him out of his job is if he loses the dressing room. Not so much the run of form, because he's won so much for you, but if he loses the players, then he's done.
I think it would take something massive to lose the dressing room. There's such a good atmosphere in there, even at the moment. There's so much support. You got, even though players are injured like Van Dijk and Gomez, they're there for the rest of the players. The dressing room won't go for the rest of the season.
Yeah, the thing
after be over the summer, something would change, or maybe a new player got brought in, would mix things up. I think it's just rumor rumbling from opposing fans. Really,
it's fake news. It's fake.
Yeah, it's fake news. It's fake news. I don't think anyone who's a real Liverpool supporter is supporting the Klopp out movement.
I think what I'm saying about it might be about scoring more than the opposition is. I remember early on in Klopp's reign, I think it was first game of the season. I think Arsenal won 4-3 against you. Those are the sort of games that Liverpool used to have. Like that might be where.
Well, you just look at the start of this season. We beat Leeds 4-3. I know what you mean. It was kind of old Klopp to concede lots of goals to these weaker sides, but you just got to trust the process at the end of the day.
Saying like because you had a weaker defense then, so that it might be what it takes to start picking up some wins because like you were still getting wins back then. So
Lovren, solid.
yeah.
But I guess that's the thing, you know. Klopp's gone into the effort of bringing in these quality centre backs. Now he's lost them, and it's probably brought the team back to where it was before. And we've just got to be patient.
To be fair, that is fair. Is there anything else you want to say about Liverpool? Anyone?
Yeah.
No, Fab has covered it. Fab is.
He's listed Liverpool.
We just hate Everton.
Too right.
That's the goal.
Yeah, but that's Sancho talking in a German accent.
Fair enough. Well, I'm guessing no one watched the Fulham Sheffield United game.
Oh, that's good for Fulham though.
Yeah, very. Are they
3 points behind Newcastle.
Really? Newcastle
lose today. Do you reckon they'll sack Bruce and bring in someone like Eddie Howe or Lampard or someone like that?
I have no idea.
They could do. They can't get relegated. They can't allow to get relegated.
Newcastle fans hate Steve Bruce right now. Hate.
Yeah.
Who is it that's going to cost? Someone. Mourinho. You know, it cost Spurs 40 million to sack Mourinho. That's nuts.
That is crazy.
Where are they in the league? I was like, oops, sorry, I was a bit too generous on going that far back. Ninth. Mourinho's ninth.
Got a couple of games in hand.
Yeah, but even if he wins them, he's still not
point behind you.
Not behind. He's behind us, yeah. And he's losing to West Ham right now.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple of things where it seems like who's the Spurs owner?
Daniel Levy.
There's been a few rumours that he's not quite sold on Mourinho anymore, but he's not going to sack him because it's going to cost him way too much money.
Yeah,
well, but that's the way the football they play is just absolute. It's just shit. Like the way they play football, I've said it before. It's like watching Burnley. Like, it's just wank. Like,
Burnley with a couple of quality strikers. That's what it is.
It's so bad.
But I saw that they were sniffing around Nagelsmann a little bit.
Attacking-minded player as well.
Yeah.
But I think he might go to Madrid at the end of the season, though. Nagelsmann.
Yeah, Zidane's supposed to be finishing there, isn't
he? Yeah.
I mean, the Atletico lost, didn't they, to Levante?
Chelsea.
But they're still like.
Oh yeah, they're still way ahead. Real Madrid won yesterday, which is good for my headliners Benzema. 94 rated now.
Wow. Oh no, they're 6 points ahead if they win the game in hand.
Okay. Oh, so that's been closed.
Yeah. And then I think didn't Bayern Munich lose to Frankfurt as well?
Yes.
Yeah,
yeah, we
They're still miles ahead as well. So
yeah, Madrid have really closed the gap because it was 7 points with the game in hand, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think it's probably more that Atletico have had a little bit of a dip than Madrid, like playing sick.
Just in time.
Is it written?
Aston Villa, Leicester. Good game today.
That's going to be a good game.
0-0 written all over it.
Says the guy that has technically now finally got a point in predictions.
I've got a point. I'm taking it. I'm done for the season. Like, I don't care what happens.
To be fair, it could be. It's either Ben's right though. It's either going to be a draw or it's going to be a high scoring game. Right, it could go either way.
Yeah. Right. Well, big ones next, of course. We'll give it to Cam first, and then we'll go to Ben.
Well, Where do I start? Do I come on here and do I start raving about how we're going to slap you up and we're going to win? No, because that would be stupid. I think I've still got to have some confidence. You know, I'll always back my team, but it's just like David and Goliath, isn't it? Really, at the moment, it's like Man City at the moment are just a different beast. Like they're just very good, and at the moment we're not. So yeah, I wouldn't say I'm confident, but there's always a possibility. There's always a chance. We're at home. We usually play all right at home. If we were playing at Wembley, I'd be even more confident, but we're not. Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting game, but we'll see. Ben, over to you.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't quite say it's David and Goliath, but I would obviously there is one team that is in a lot better form, but like you say, it's like a Guardiola against Arteta. Arteta, you know, he's got he knows what Guardiola's like, so you know he might spring a surprise or spring a tactical, you know, decision or something. But I like to think we'll win. It'll be obviously every game's difficult, and I don't like.
Don't say you said you're in a bit in form. You've just won 17 games in a row, and in that process,
I'm trying to be modest, like you know.
But I think we always compete, but you just got quality. So
I think I'll be a lot more confident as well if I see like that midfield three, because against Everton we gave him too much space, and I think Arsenal probably got a bit more quality up front than Everton. So I'm hoping that our midfield three is Rodri, like Foden, and like De Bruyne or someone like that. Because I think with Bernardo, all quality players, but there's too much space in there.
Would you not want to play Foden on the left wing like he's been playing pretty
well? That's what I mean. Like push Foden further forward and then bring De Bruyne in with Bernardo or something like that. If Gundogan's still injured, that is.
Yeah. Can I say though, Ben, in the 17 wins, you've conceded 6 goals.
I told you at the start of the season we need that centre back. We got him.
It's the one thing you've got correct so far.
It's the one thing I got correct. I've got a point. I'm not having that.
But Partey might be out, which is obviously a big loss for us. Really? And Tierney might start, but he might not as well. He's not had that much game time. But Partey not in our midfield is a big loss. That's a big one.
You got Aubameyang back though. So.
Yeah.
Will he play Smith Rowe and Odegaard, do you think?
I'm not sure. He tried it in the game against Benfica, and it kind of worked. But Smith Rowe kind of plays as like when Aubameyang drifts out wide, Smith Rowe goes as like a number 9, and then Odegaard plays as number 10. But I don't know whether that's just going to leave us a bit exposed if we have Xhaka and then have to play either Ceballos or Elneny. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. It's going to everywhere across the pitch. I don't know. I don't really know what the lineup's going to be, because he could play Holding, he could play Gabriel, he could play David Luiz, he could play Pablo Mari, he could play Tierney, Cedric, Bellerin. He could play if Partey's fit. Xhaka will start. That's the only one I can say. Aubameyang will play. But then as well, we've got Saka, Smith Rowe, Odegaard, Lacazette, bloody Pepe, Martinelli. Like, we've got players in there that they could all play. But
it's a strange one, because like at the start of the season, you thought Arteta just won the FA Cup. You thought he was starting to get a settled team, but then you had that poor run of form, blah blah blah, and now it seems to be like he's trying to find his best team again.
Yeah, It's a nice problem to have, but I'd rather have a starting 11 that's playing consistently. But the problem we've got is because of the young players coming through. So Saka has had a breakout season. Smith Rowe's had a breakout season. Martinelli's been injured, but he's still involved. So Yeah, but
Do you reckon it's gonna take him dropping like those multi-million-pound players for the youth players to get that settled team, or do you think?
I think long term that's what he'll have to do. Yeah, I mean, if you look at, I think eventually we'll probably end up playing Pepe and Saka on our wings. I don't think we can really get rid of Pepe after paying 72 million for him. Or if we did get rid of him, we'd have to take a massive loss on him. But I mean, I don't think you can touch Saka. Like he's like on the team sheet. He should be playing every single game. But then to fit in those players, do you play Lacazette up front? Do you play Aubameyang up front? If you don't play Aubameyang up front, do you play him on the left? That means you have to drop Pepe or Saka. So, I'm not sure, but in the next couple of years it'll be okay. But now, currently, it's difficult.
Do you think are you starting to think? What was it? I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, you're starting to think that. You think because Aubameyang wasn't sure at the start of the season, do you reckon he'll leave if you don't get Europe?
I could see him running out his contract. To be fair, it's what usually happens at Arsenal. I reckon, yeah, he'll stay, but he'll stay into the end of his contract. I think he only signed for another 2 years, so he'll have a year after this.
Because that was the thing at the start of this season, that he was thinking about wanting to get Champions League football.
Yeah, and then it was either
convinced him.
It was either sell him to get some money for him or get him going free. That was basically but then he signed the contract. So
because he really badly after the contract, didn't he? He played really badly straight after he signed the contract. He had like a really bad one.
He did, yeah. A massive goal drought. He's basically only coming back to form now, basically.
He is a quality player. Like he does provide a lot of goals for the team.
Oh, yeah. 100%. He's invaluable for us. Like I would have paid. I would literally would just said give him what he wants, because we need a player like that. We haven't got that many world class players in positions, but I consider him to be one of them. So, I would have given him any money that he asked for to let him stay or make him stay. So,
fair enough.
But then someone like Lacazette, I would say, I'd sell Lacazette. I'm not gonna lie. Like, if an offer came and it was good, I would let him go.
He's been playing well for you, hasn't he?
He has, but he's playing how he should have been playing for the last 3 years. So I think, but then because we've got these other players, because Lacazette's in there, we have to push Aubameyang out wide. So, I mean, if we didn't have Lacazette, Aubameyang could play through the middle, and he gets more goals there, and he's we won the Golden Boot with playing on a left wing. So think about the goals he could score up front, even though he's older. So
fair enough. Well, score predictions. We do score predictions. Fab. Score predictions for Arsenal City.
I'm gonna go with 2-1 to City. I think it'll be quite a close game, actually.
Fair enough. Cam?
2-1 Arsenal.
Oof.
To be fair, that was the other fixture. That was the other result I was thinking. I think Arsenal could.
You were expecting City to concede 2 goals for the first time in 20 games or something ridiculous.
Yeah. Like Arsenal, they've got the quality in attack to be able to do that. So
the only thing I was considering, I was thinking about a 2-2 draw, because just the fact that City are going to score, that they will score. It probably will be more than one. So
actually, the thing I think between Arsenal and West Ham, I don't think City are going to beat both of them. I'd be really impressed with City if they went out and beat Arsenal and West Ham. You know,
we've got Champions League between that, so
that's gonna be a really tough set of games. I mean, fair play to them if they get the 3 points in all 3 games, but I think chances are they'll probably slip up somewhere.
Yeah, I'll go 2-1 City.
Do I go mad because all of you guys are on safe?
Well, you
It's
can
up
go
to
like,
you. Sure.
I need
The,
I need to get another point this weekend though.
there's a common theme in the last few games of City scoring 3 goals. They've scored 3 goals in the last 3 games.
I was thinking 3-1 or 4-1.
Yeah, I was thinking City going to score quite a lot, but I can't bring myself to put that down as my score prediction. So,
3-0 City.
oof.
like your last results: 3-1 to Everton, 3-0 Tottenham, Swansea slapped, 4-1 Liverpool. Like you've beat good teams and you've beat them well.
Yeah.
So
If we win today, I'll be very, like, obviously we're really happy because I thought this run of 4 fixtures was really difficult. So I mean, if we drop points today, we've still won 3 out of 4 of those fixtures, which is good. But yeah,
no, it's crazy. We'll have to see. But
Well, I think that's a decent point to leave it. We got midweek games, which we'll do our predictions for. Then, so it's Chelsea and City, isn't it?
yeah, we got Mönchengladbach, you got Atletico.
Is that on Tuesday as well?
Tuesday and Wednesday. I'm not sure if the.
I know Chelsea's Tuesday.
Or it will be Wednesday then, I think.
They won't play like England teams together.
No.
Oh, and yesterday was the
Wednesday.
The birthday of the Premier League, founded in 1992, 20th of February.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, and we haven't talked about VAR this time. It's amazing.
Oh wow, yeah, but that's more because I block out my brain, man. More because I forget about it and try and block out my mind because otherwise I'm going to cry.
They were saying one last thing I saw. I don't know how much of it I believe, but for that Everton goal, I think some like fishy offside. I can't quite remember, but apparently the ref went to the VAR thing, but didn't actually watch the goal. He just kind of.
I think it was because he basically was going to give the penalty anyway. He was just told to go to the screen, and he saw it for like the one time. He was like, "I'm giving this a penalty no matter what."
Mm-hmm.
Like he literally was there for 2 seconds.
You still got to make it look like you're looking at it, haven't you?
Yeah, I know. I think all Liverpool fans would have appreciated him taking an extra 5 to 10 seconds to actually watch that goal for a Merseyside fucking derby. Maybe that's just me being silly. Anyway.
Oh, speaking of refs though, he was the ref of the West Brom Burnley game.
Oh, that was Mike Dean.
Mike Dean. Well, he got a decision right. Went to the screen, got it right.
Yeah. We were saying it's the safest game you could possibly have for a referee.
I thought
you got away with a few decisions. Chelsea got away with a few against Southampton. Werner stood on him. Kante stood on him.
I quite liked the way they explained those though. Basically, they now do slow motion for the contact, like to see where the contact is. And then basically they forget about that once they've checked the contact. So obviously if it goes on the head.
You just forget about it, yeah. You've seen it in slow motion, so it looks really bad.
No. Hey, you watch it in fast motion, and that's how they make the decision, through fast motion.
I still think he got away with one there. It's at least a yellow card.
Oh, yeah, no, it's a yellow card. But if the ref doesn't give it as a yellow card, then VAR can't do anything about it.
It's at least a yellow. Like,
yeah, I'm not saying it wasn't. I think both Werner and Kante should have been booked yellow cards. Yellow cards.
Either one of them could have been a red though.
Nah,
they were questionable.
Too quick.
He's just like, it's fair, all fair, you know.
Well then, Ings studded Mount in the box, so he could have had a red card. Who gives a shit?
You got a penalty for that.
Yeah, but you're complaining about yellow cards, red cards, Ben. You know, it's
so much. It's both of his players are 2-footed here. It's like, yeah, I think it's fair. Yeah. Like they saw the contact, but then they forgot about it, and then they just went off the fast motion and thought it was fine.
Well, it's like Fab's wish yesterday about Curtis Jones pulling off two-footed tackles on 2 players at the same time, but being offside, so it doesn't count. Still injuring them.
I could have really done with seeing that yesterday. I'll be honest.
What score today with the City Arsenal game would make you smile? Because obviously you haven't been in a very smiley mood since yesterday.
Don't know. 8-0 to Arsenal.
To Arsenal.
I don't really mind Arsenal. I mean, they're not really competing for the top four, and I don't want them.
That's a little sly dig. It's like,
Well,
don't really mind
I
us.
think
Not really the
himself.
competition. Like,
They're
Can't argue it.
I'm more, I just like to see City do. But I honestly, I'm on camera, so I'm gonna have to limit myself. But I wouldn't mind if some of the Everton players got some really, really small injuries in their next fixture that happen to make them end up in hospital.
There's the clip. There's the clip.
Everyone smile. We're on.
I think a bit of karma is coming back to Everton now. They've injured Henderson, Thiago, Van Dijk.
You just need to play. Next time you play Chelsea, the Chelsea players will next time they'll still tackle some of the Everton players for you.
Yeah.
They won't get anything for it, so it's all be all right. So
hey,
Just
this is just
keep your studs up.
digs at the end of this. We've just been talking for like an hour, and still the diggers are coming through. Fab's called Arsenal a nothing club. Ben said that Chelsea are dirty scumbags, and Fab says that.
Well, I didn't say that. I just said you had a couple of questionable decisions, which is true.
Yeah, I'm joking. I'm having a little tea.
Dirty scumbags.
There you go. He said it, not me.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. West Ham are still beating Spurs 1-0 at this point, but obviously when you're watching this, you'll know the score. This will be released half an hour before the big Arsenal and City game, so there's a little bit of pre-match if you watch it. Thank you guys for watching, and
lovely stuff.